Welcome to the Tough Luck Podcast.
With Megan.
And Lily.
Oh,
we flipped.
That was fun.
You said it backward. I'm like,
it just felt right.
It just fluid.
It came off the tongue, yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're kind of like talking about how we work together a little bit today.
Yeah.
Which has been fun, and we were kind of just talking about before we even started recording, like, you know, how we're kind of just like figuring all of it out as we go, and like when we went to the bank, you don't know exactly what I'm gonna say. She asked us, she was like, do you guys have like what was it, like a work agreement?
EIN.
Or no, not the EIN, like the work agreement or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
We like
definitely didn't have that.
Business agreement between me and Megan or whatever, like some like contract or some like physical piece of paper or something that said like how we were gonna work together. She asked us if we had like one of those, and we were like,
contract.
No.
What contract?
No. Like, we just love each other. Like
we wink, and that's it.
We just trust that we're not gonna fuck each other over. We're just hoping for the best here. like we don't need a piece of paper, and I feel like our roles are also ever changing too. So yeah. I feel like if we were to write something that we like, in the beginning we did write down our roles, right?
Yeah.
And like we divided social medias, right? Like Megan was gonna do this social media and I was gonna do that social media or whatever. Yeah. And then that just turned into us being like, okay, well, what are we good at and what do we like doing? You know? And then going from there, you know?
Yeah, it's a mixture of like doing what you love to do, mm-hmm. and then doing what you have to do.
Right.
It's really a mix of the two, because sometimes you have this list of to-dos, and you mm-hmm. say, okay, like, this really drives with me, and mm-hmm. I really drive with this. And mm-hmm. for example, you like to do marketing, and you mm-hmm. like to do
like the design
element,
yeah.
and making, like, choosing various logos. Mm-hmm. We had to go through a huge list of logos. Mm-hmm. It started out with owls, and then it worked its way back.
All of this started with owls, because me and Megan were like seeing owls at the time. So our first design logo was not like this pretty sun with an eye. It was literally owls. That is so funny. I always forget about that.
The beginning logos.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not working. Like, yeah. You kind of did have to be honest. I made
15 logos, yeah. Wow. And then I told Megan, I was like, the owls were cute, but I tried something different. And Megan was like, yeah, that's better.
I didn't know what I wanted, to be honest with you, when we first started off. Like, I just didn't know what it was going to look like. Yeah. So I just went with, I kind of just had faith that you would figure it out. And that was good. It worked out really well.
Good. Yeah. Because that's how I felt, like, about you and the EIN situation, you know? Like,
it's like she's working some magic over here.
Exactly. Like, Megan's, she's got it, you know?
I felt confident. Like, I felt pretty confident in it, and then the few times that failed, it was, like, we figured it out. Yeah. It was like, I called the IRS and sat on the line for a while.
Okay, wait. Do we need to explain the EIN situation? I don't think we've explained it.
So we had
first we didn't even know we needed an EIN, right? We didn't even know what that was. So we went to one meeting and we were like, okay, we need to get an EIN. So then we got it. Right? And we came back, and
it was in the spam folder, and it deleted itself, and because it's every 30 days your spam folder, just so you know, anyone out there, check your spam, because it might have important documents and it might get deleted forever, and they won't email it to you after, so that you have to have it mailed. Like, you can't, and the first call, I was like, okay, like, this is what's going on, like, we did do everything correct, mm-hmm. and they, like, had, I don't know, the IRS is interesting, because depending on who you get on the phone, sometimes you'll have somebody who's like, just like, oh yeah, here's what you need to do, and that's it. But sometimes you get somebody on the phone and they're asking you questions you have no idea about. And then I'm like, I truly don't know what you're talking about. And I had to sit there. I'm like, ma'am, like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. And I finally gave up and hung up, and I picked up the phone again and called them again. I got a different lady, and she knew exactly what to do.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it worked out real well. But like, it took a few tries.
Sometimes you just gotta hang up and try again. That's all.
I was like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Hang up the phone.
Moral of the story. And that's how it was when we kept going, like, to the bank, too. Like, we kept going and just getting these people. Like, we didn't know what we were doing. And, that's okay. And, like, these people, you know, like, you know, just going about their day, working at a bank, you know, like, these two girls, like, what are they doing, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it was at first when we were going into the bank, and then on our third try, where it actually worked, like, the lady was amazing.
I know.
Right? She was so sweet, answered all our questions.
Out.
If we didn't know, literally, shout out to,
well, the first girl was Brittany.
We don't even know her full name.
I don't know her name.
We don't even know her.
Shout out to
the girl at Right Pat who helped us. Who helped us with clairvoyance. Yes. She was amazing.
Great job.
Great job, yeah. And
I need to rate her. I forgot. I need to rate her. Anyway.
Yeah.
Don't let me forget about that. Anyway, I want to give her a positive review because she actually knew she knew that we were confused and didn't have our, like, ducks in a row 100%.
Right.
And so she helped us with understanding what we needed to have prepared.
Exactly. And she, like, also made us feel really, like, welcome and sweet at the same time. Like, she wasn't, like, judgmental about it, you know? Like, her energy was really beautiful.
Right.
And, like, I'm just thinking, you know, like, none of us really know what we're doing out here in this world. Like, none of us, you know, at the end of the day. But, you know, there are genuinely people out there who are willing to help you, you know? Like, that lady that you were on the phone with, like, maybe you have to just, like, hang up and try again. Because there are people out there who will help you, you know? And you just have to find those people.
It's...
and it takes a couple tries. It does.
It took me a lot of tries.
It takes a lot of tries. But they're out there. That's the important thing.
Absolutely.
That's the important part.
There's beauty in that, where it's like, okay, you know, you're gonna find that person that's gonna be with you 100%.
Yeah.
And then they're just in it with you, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
then you're gonna have a couple duds, and that's
right.
totally fine. And that goes with anything in life, you know? Not everybody's meant for everybody else.
Right.
I'm sure the other ladies would have fit well with somebody who maybe was a little bit more organized, and had their stuff
more
together.
Thorough, yeah. I'm sure that would have been great for them.
That would have been perfect for them.
Yeah. Me and Megan having technical difficulties.
And mental difficulties. I was like, wait, I have no idea what I'm talking about right now. Okay, so decision making.
Yeah.
And how do we align with our inner self, what our inner self wants us to do? There's a lot of different ways to go about this, but a lot of people have this intuition that guides them, and that's their first exposure to what is best for them. It's that inner knowing, so to speak. So, like, it's also known as clairvoyance, actually. And understanding that inner guide that helps with, you know, making that final decision. It's there to help you make what is best for you. It's kind of like your higher self, so to speak. Right. And what is your higher self? It's almost this, it's this what you are divinely guided to be. And also it's what you want to end up being as well. Which is a beautiful thing. It's something that we all strive to aim towards, and they talk about it a lot in yoga. But we sometimes don't follow that inner guide for various reasons, maybe outside sources, outside influences. And also sometimes our higher self adjusts and changes and becomes a totally different being in and of itself, So that's adjusted to what is going on in your everyday life. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, like, I know you want to travel in the future, and you have the desire to do that, but on the, surface level plane we're all on right now, you need money, you need a passport, you need insurance for that. Resources. Yeah. You have work here, and so you don't want to have to quit your job and relocate, and you have this business, which we're trying to, like, navigate. Eventually, one day we would love to travel, but I think it's this, like, whole... It's a lot of...
start with some roots.
You have to start with the roots, right. You're building from a place of stability, but does that mean that one day you could travel? Probably, if you aim towards that and you go towards that. And I know one day I would love to be, this is just my dream, but I would love to lead a yoga teacher training and be like a guide for future yoga teachers out there. And if it's on the virtual plane or the physical plane, either way, it would be my dream to do that. And I kind of have this calling, but right now, it would be, it's throw me back financially, for one, to go get my 500 hour, which is what you need to do it. And it would push me back in a lot of different ways, because it would be like, it would take more time out of my day, which would mean I have less time to give to my loved ones, my friends, and my family. And that piece of pie for the business might dwindle as well. And then I couldn't do as much with editing or something like that. So it'd be less energy to be given to other things. So I guess what I'm trying to get at here is like, your higher self, while it's a beautiful thing and it's something that you have to strive for, sometimes it's not the best timing for your inner self to shine. And it's okay, because one day it will be. I believe in that. I think it's there for a reason. It's that inner self, that calling, that's there to help guide you along your path. And it's okay not to be on the last leg of your race already.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like, sometimes, like, I've had, like, an inner calling or something, and you have it and you feel it in your body, and, like, you try and act on it, or you do something, and it's just, like, not really working out. It's not really coming through. And maybe, like, that inner calling, or that inner, like, whatever that's telling you to do this thing, maybe that thing's not supposed to be easy. Yeah. Maybe inner guide wants you to struggle with that thing for a while before it clicks. And then like, when you finally get it, like that's the magic. Like, maybe inner guide doesn't necessarily always want it to just, like, unfold or happen right away. Maybe it's just telling us to work towards that thing, you know?
It's a goal.
Absolutely. But I also think there's, like, a little bit of importance in, like, investing in ourselves, And, I mean, for me, and, like, if I'm having, like, a calling to do something and I don't really know if it's gonna, like, work out financially, sometimes, like, I'll just put the money in and, like, figure it out later, you know? Like, I kind of did that with my yoga thing that I was doing, right? Like, I had to put together this website so that people could sign up for my classes. And, like, I kind of just, like, threw a bunch of, like, I told Megan, I was like, I just, like, put everything on my credit cards, and, like, I'm just gonna figure it out. And I know Megan doesn't work this way. Megan does not work this way at all. This is the polar opposite of us, because I think this way.
Yeah. That's perfect.
I'm just like, I'll just put everything on my credit cards and, like, figure it out, and Megan literally looked at me, she was like, Lily, do we need to talk about your finances? but you know,
there's a Capricorn in me
exactly.
right
but like now, but now like this yoga business, it's like working for me, and I'm like actively doing it, and I'm enjoying it. And I don't know if I haven't done the math, but I don't know if I'm necessarily profiting off of it right now. But like, I'm coming out even, and like I'm okay with that because, you know, it's hard work, and it's just something I enjoy doing. And I know that, like, I'm not going to start out making a, like, even this business, like, we're not going to start out making a bunch of money right away.
Probably
but,
not.
you know, we love it. So that's what's important. Like, at the end of the day, it's just, like, doing what you love. And,
that's exactly right. And I think that, you know, these future visions that you have, it may not be today, but it could very much be next week if you actually put some energy into it, depending on how much of a risk you're taking.
And it doesn't have to be like financial energy, right? Like it can be other forms of energy, like going out and making connections with people, or like just like practicing a skill or something. Like it doesn't have to always be a financial investment in yourself, but it can look different, you know?
Sure.
As long, like I've heard like musicians say like they at least pick up a guitar for at least 5 minutes a day, you know, just to put in that little bit of energy. Maybe it's not a lot, but it's just like that little, you know, that little token in your pocket that keeps adding up, you know, just those little things. Even with yoga too, you know, same thing. So exactly,
that's, you have to and self-invest, like you mentioned. I was listening to a podcast about this. It was a Rick Rubin. Are you familiar with Rick Rubin?
I've heard of him, but
he's worked with lots of different artists and is a musician as well, and had a lot of various projects he would work on. And he's one of those people I would love to aspire to be. He's kind of off-grid and doesn't wear shoes, and just like kind of a great energy there. And he lives on the beach, and so anyway, something that he mentioned is he makes the art for himself and himself only, and something that it's often this outside voice, right, that's telling us, oh, this isn't good enough. But it's like, what's your inner self say? Do you like the thing that you're making? And is the thing outside of you that you're putting into this world, is this something that you enjoy? Is this something you're proud of? And have you put in everything you can into it? And when it was done, did you say at the end of the day, that's the best I could have done? And that's really a lot of what self-investment can look like, is just starting off with saying, okay, this may not be the best, but what can I do to make it close to it? And sitting with it and toying with it a little bit, whatever it is for you. Maybe it's art, maybe it's music, or maybe it's a yoga practice. Like sometimes you have to show up every single day on your mat to be able to figure out, okay, like what do I really need? And you learn and have that relationship with your body, like Caleb mentioned last week, that mind-body connection. Showing up on your mat, and maybe it's not every day, maybe it's once a week, just depending on your life circumstances, but showing up and having that relationship with yourself and saying, okay, what is it that I am trying to figure out with my body? Do my hips have a lot of stress and a lot of tension, and do I need to learn how to, like, you know, maybe give myself a little bit less of a when I'm in pigeon, like, do I need to give myself a little bit more slack and adjust a little bit more, and maybe put that blanket under the knee? So it's kind of playing with the idea of, like, being okay with things being fluid in when you're pursuing your dreams, and when you're pursuing even, like, your goals and aspirations. So
and, you know, like, we live in this society that, you know, makes us hustle and makes us be in like this masculine energy where we think that all these things that we love and that we cherish, you know, we have to pursue in a way that makes us money or that benefits us, you know, like maybe we just need to make art for the hell of it, you know, maybe you just need to make art so that you can create, and who cares what it looks like to anyone else. Maybe you just need to make it and hide it away from everyone, from the whole world, but maybe you just need to like make it. And like I feel like I even have an example of this, like when we're outside recording, you know, sometimes like Megan will be like, well, should we use like the more low quality camera, you know? And it's like, well, like, do we need to like exploit ourselves to make videos, you know, for this business, or do we just need to like make something that's really high quality that we're really proud of, you know? And like everyone's just telling us, you know, that you have to make money off of, you know, whatever you're passionate about or whatever your heart calls to you, but maybe we need to also preserve that part of us, you know? Like I feel like this capitalism is like making our art almost die because like they need more. We need more art, more of this, you know? How much can we make in how little time? How efficient can we be with all of these different aspects instead of, do you really care about what you made? You know? Do you really love this product? How long, like, did you really take the time to love and cherish and craft this piece of art, or did you just do it because you need to make more, you know? You know, because everyone needs more. We need more all the time. And so we find that balance with like taking videos. Like sometimes maybe we'll get like 4 videos out, and sometimes like one time I was like, Megan, I don't want to record, you know? And like just that balance of like enjoying the process. Like it's about the process. It's not about how much we can get done, you know? Like that's it's like, exhausting.
That's a lot of pressure on art,
right,
to be made. And not to say that like,
and art doesn't work that way, you know?
It's not
art
even
can't
like
be
that.
mass produced.
That's the funniest thing about it is like, this is why Rick Rubin hits me. So like, he's a great dude. You should look him up sometime. But he's, you know, been in the industry for so long, and something that he tells everybody else is like, you need a side job because your art is going to become this product, and you're going to be asked from outside sources to make so many products to be able to mass produce out into the world. And then the quality of the art will no longer, not to say it's art, it's music, but just under art category. But yeah, it's
music is art.
Music is art. Yeah, that it's confusing because sometimes I'm like, I'm talking about literal art.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I'm confused myself, and I'm like, wait, did I talk about literal art or music? Music. So he was talking about how he was just talking about how much like you need that side hustle there, because it's, let's say for example you do have like kind of a writer's block in your music and you don't really have anything coming to you, it's gonna be okay, like financially you'll be stable enough and it's gonna be okay.
Right.
So in a way it's an interesting concept to think about, where it's like, if something is more or less for full time and you are creating something on the creative spectrum and people are paying you to show up every single week, it is kind of a toss-up there, because there is a chance that the quality may not be great. And it's a challenge, and we're facing that too, where it's like, I know that I have so many hours in my week, and some days I don't feel good. and I don't feel good at all.
Literally. And
it's okay. And there's no, that's not to judge me or anything, or you or anybody. It's just how life works. But it is a challenge, because it's like, well, people are expecting a podcast each week. People are expecting yoga. People are expecting things. And so it's I guess what I'm trying to say is like, there are times where it's okay to not give the best product. And it's okay if you're not going to be absolutely perfect every single week. But maybe reserve something in your life that you do have passion about, that you do love to create and invest in. That's not for money. That's not for someone else. And it does get a little bit like, I have watercolor painting, for example. I do that on the side. I'm not like a professional artist, but I do it for me.
Good.
And I draw I like to draw, last painting I did was an octopus and a deer. My friend's spirit animal is a deer and mine is an octopus. And I just had like, I don't know, I was thinking about her that day, so I drew her spirit animal and mine. And it just helped me it helped me realize a couple of things, that we're more connected than I'm imagining things to be. Because sometimes, you know, she's working a lot and we don't really spend a huge amount of time together because we're both really busy. So it helped me feel more connected to her in that moment. And she's probably, I don't know if she's listening to this or not, but we'll find out. So anyway,
like I said, it's about the process and like the feelings that come up like during that process of creating that are the most important part, you know. And then you can like always look back on that art and like have that feeling again too, you know. So it's beautiful.
I loved it. It was, I had a little missing of her a little bit. That I'm a little bit in my feels today, guys. Aww. Like, I don't know why, I just can't be. Anyway, we won't go into that too much, but it's I'm feeling a little bit more in my feminine today. So if I start to feel it a little bit, that's why. But
it's good to be in our feminine and to feel. It's good to feel.
Not be a robot.
And it's good to cry and
yeah, it's good. Those are healthy things.
All things, yep. Yeah,
I told Lily one time, I'm like, girl, I really do believe everybody should have a friend who you just call just to cry with. And if you have that person out there that will listen to you and sit with you, and they're not trying to tell you their advice, they're just sitting with you.
Right.
And that's why I'm like, we all need that in our lives. And so anyway, that's a side tangent in and of itself. But it's been a beautiful time with you, and
absolutely,
this podcast has been growing. I don't know if you know that. Do you know that?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't know that? Okay.
I don't know that.
There's people showing up every week that listen. And yeah.
Yeah, see, Megan posts and I avoid social media.
Do you want to talk about that? You want to get into that?
I mean, since we're kind of talking about it already, like, every time we post on Clairvoyance, like, I cannot get on social media. I can't even look. So when Megan was like, did you know, like, our podcast, like, I have no idea. Because I don't look. I can't. And that's so funny because we have a completely different approach on it, too, because Megan loves to, like, look at the comments and look at all the things, and, like that's great.
I love to connect with
that's
people.
Good because, you know, we need that, like, active, like, social media presence, you know, that you have. And we've been getting a lot of interesting comments. We've had to adjust our camera angle according to comments.
That's fair.
Me and Megan are so innocent. We just don't know. Like, we've been getting a lot of feet comments and stuff, and, like, we just don't know. We just don't know. We just didn't think. So we've adjusted our camera angle.
I did.
Did you?
No.
Oh.
It's not. It's just the same.
Oh, well, we have socks on.
We're wearing socks. I figured the socks were fine. Like, yeah, I figured that would be fine.
Exactly.
Maybe I should have asked you.
No, it's okay. Literally, before we started our podcast, I was like, well, let me just put my socks on. Because we just didn't know.
Isn't it weird how this world is... It's just a weird world we live in. That they don't, there's gonna be a list out there of things just to keep in mind when you have a podcast, like, just because I need to make this list, because if anyone wants us to start a podcast, these are the things you'll have to think about. Right. One being wear socks.
Wear socks. And now that I'm, like, thinking about it, like, you don't see feet on the internet when you're just scrolling, you know? No. Like, feet are sacred on the internet, almost, you know? Like, people pay for that. People pay for those pictures. That's why they're not just out there for anyone to view.
I guess
because people will pay good money
for
these feet. And, we're just putting them out there like nobody's business.
Maybe that's just like, isn't that kind of symbolic of us a little bit, that we're kind of, I feel like you and I, we don't have this preconceived idea of what this is supposed to be.
Right.
So we're just putting it out there unknowingly and thinking like,
and then we get feedback and we're like, oh, that's we need to wear socks. To do.
Caleb last week was like, "Oh, you didn't know that?" And I'm like, we were so oblivious. We were so oblivious.
Yeah.
By the way, Caleb was great. I loved that wonderful conversation.
Yeah, Caleb was amazing to have here.
Like, shout out to Caleb.
Shout out to Caleb.
Everything he's doing. You. I'm gonna shout him out every week.
Literally,
I'm
just kidding. A talented human.
He really is.
A beautiful soul. And
I just was, yeah. We had a little. We went hiking after our conversation last week, and it was just this, I don't know, we haven't really connected in a while, so it was just kind of nice just to be out in nature with each other and
with good company.
Good company, and maybe this is just a testament to how little I'm getting out and into nature, but it did feel nice, and there's a moment of silence that we took, and I honestly didn't. At first, I kind of had a hard time with it. Like, I was like, I'm like, my extrovertedness was like, oh no. But I think I was dealing with it fairly well after a while. I was just thinking to myself, like, wow, like, this is the way they like to spend time together is through silence. And it was a beautiful interaction. Like, I love spending time with introverts now. I'm like, maybe I'm just, like, learning what it's like for the first time a little bit. Because I have a ton of extroverted friends, and they don't really spend time with silence like that. There's some beauty to it, and I'm starting to learn that. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, some of like my favorite company is like me and my girlfriend, like when we did like manifestation boards and stuff.
Yeah.
Like we sat literally right here on the floor and we just like played music and just like didn't really say much. We kind of just like like would bring something up every once in a while, but we would just like be in our own world and just like do our own craft, and like I have that with some other friends too, and I think it's just special because it's like, you know, like sometimes you don't always have something to say, you know? And just like being able to enjoy someone's company, you know, in that silence, I don't know, it's something really special, you know, because like you said, there are a lot of people who can't, you know, sit in that silence or feel uncomfortable in it, and just to be able to like be comfortable with someone in silence, it's amazing.
Man.
It's so lovely.
What a world you live in, because I have not had that yet. I'm working towards it, but I think I'm working, like, even, it's weird, because even, like, it's interesting, because even with Kent, I talk to him. Yeah. Like, I've not yet had a moment of silence with Kent.
Yeah.
And he's my husband, and I feel like that's the person I should probably have it with, but I haven't had it yet, so maybe I'll break my seal someday.
No, that's beautiful too. You know, like talking is also lovely. It just depends on the person, really. Like, if you don't feel like you need silence with people, then like don't take it.
Sometimes I do, and I just don't speak it. There is a level to this that I'm like reflecting a little bit, and
she's reflecting.
I'm reflecting a bit, and I do actually feel like there are times where I'm filling space, and I don't really feel like I would like to, but I feel like the company I'm with This is a reflection onto me because I'm trying not to be a people pleaser, but it happens.
It's just funny because you're an extroverted people pleaser and I'm an introverted people pleaser.
Yes.
But continue.
But anyway, yeah, it is kind of funny.
It's weird.
It is very weird. And so it's, but anyway, yeah, I'm rejecting this part of me right now because I don't want to be this way. But I will, if I notice that person is not comfortable with silence or not comfortable with being with themselves, like, I will try to fill the void because it's
to make them more comfortable with you.
Yeah, I want everybody to feel good. And when everyone feels good, I think because I have a little bit of that empath sense to me, I can sense that I can kind of have like this little the sixth sense about it where I'm like, okay, they're good. Everybody's set. Yeah. Everybody's good. But yeah, there is this little part of me that's, I think everybody has, but afraid of the uncomfortable or afraid of awkward moments. And yeah, you just gotta embrace that stuff. It's
just being human, you know?
Exactly.
It's part of being human, that's all.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing to be ashamed of or anything. And the more vulnerable moments, we were talking about this last week, but 2 weeks ago, but the more vulnerable moments that we share, I think the closer the relationship becomes. And
silence is a vulnerable moment, for sure.
It's a vulnerable moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a beautiful journey I'm on. I'm learning more about what you like, what I like.
Sitting in silence isn't just like two people. Like, it wouldn't be us just like sitting here like not talking. Like, you know, like
maybe.
you find like it's like doing something, like sharing that energy. Like, it's like sharing almost like a physical energy and not like you know, like that out loud, like, speaking energy. It's like this like, kind of just like you're in the space, you're doing this thing together. You know, it's not like us just being like dead air. Right? Exactly. Dead air. And that's why I feel like
I don't know if you heard that
I feel like
before.
that's what makes that kind of like quiet silence. And you know, there's music too. Like, it's a whole vibe. I feel like, you know, working or spending time with somebody without talking.
I'm really curious what this is like. I'm gonna have to try this sometime. Where it's like, you just put music on, you just sit there, do a project or something. Wow.
I really blow Megan's mind with this every time I bring it up.
It's just an interesting...
Every time we talk about this, she's like, what?
I've done, like, the art thing, but we're always talking with art. Like, it's... I remember during New Year's Eve, there was some artistic things going on, and we were making art and having fun with it, and yeah, it was we were just interacting with one another, and we weren't talking the entire time, and it was kind of a relief, because it was kind of this sense of we were talking all night, and then we finally got that breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
So anyway, the podcast has been a delight. It's been great to be a part of.
Absolutely. And I feel like I'm learning how to talk more and Megan's learning how to listen more. And
how am I doing?
Great, honestly.
Really?
How am I doing?
You're doing great.
Oh, wonderful.
You have a lot of energy to you.
Oh,
you don't...
It's this coffee.
Is it?
I run my mouth on a cup of coffee. I'll run my mouth. Yeah.
We should drink coffee more.
Yeah.
I've been eating more grounding food, more like cucumber and all the yummy good stuff. Anyway, thank you for listening.
What a beautiful day and a beautiful week, and yeah.
Beautiful.
Everything's beautiful here.
That's right. That's right.
All is well here with Megan and Lily.
That's right. That's right. Well, cheers to you, Lily.
Cheers.
And have
a beautiful day, everybody.
Mwah.